And we are back with your coverage of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 11, episodes 18 and 19 recap. I am here with the lovely, the amazing, the talented, the Sasa, the Sasa, the Sasas, the to the to the Sasha Joseph. Welcome back to the podcast.
Listen, you said, Sasha, I need an invite to the players ball. So I said, I'm here. Listen, an episode that was made for me. Okay. It was all scrappy almost. And it's him living his best life, being a messy king. I'm so happy to be here and talk about all of this.
The players ball we gonna get into. For me, it was Mama D's suit, right? But then I was like, what? It was her suit, her shoes, and it was her like pimp walk. Did you see like how she was like she really embodied the suit?
Well, you know, Mama D IRL used to be a pimp.
I mean, listen. So she was like, I got this jacket in the back. I could bring this out for Scrappy. But I just feel like the players' ball is Scrappy's divorce party, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder, like, if I'm getting a divorce, do I want my mom to throw me the party?
The thing is, no. And I will say, if your mom is Mama D, yes. Like, this is a one of one, right? Like, she really is one of one, number one, right? Because, please, she used to be a pimp. I think, like, if I want anyone to throw my party, it's someone that used to be in the streets and know how it is and help maybe get some entertainment for me. You know, best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. So I feel like it's Mama D then, okay, fine. But anyone else, absolutely not.
Then it's chaotic for me, right? Okay. It was chaotic taking the mic, being like, DJ, play I Appreciate You. I appreciate you.
The mockery.
I was like, wait, does this actually go into the divorce party? Like, I'm confused. Like, if Scrap appreciated the BAM, would we be at this? Like, I don't know.
Here's the one controversial negative thing I'll say about Scrappy, because y'all know it's that problematic fave. Okay, it's fine. So I have to say, why is Scrap acting like he came back from war and that he literally was like a victim of like some like crazy ass scheme, and and like there was some like violence against him. You got a divorce from someone that you said you loved, that you were with for so long, that you had like 17 billion kids with back to back to back. Like, she was literally always pregnant. What's up?
Yeah, I'm confused. And then watching these two episodes, episode 18 and 19, it really had me thinking of Scrappy's arch in Love and Hip Hop, right?
Yeah.
Because we see he went on this date with baby mama number one.
How dare you, first of all? She's the only baby mama we talk about and we claim. Stop it.
So, he goes on a date with her. And then in episode 19, we see him with Diamond. And I'm like, oh my God. This has always been Scrap's storyline. He's always kind of sort of played in Erica Dixon's face like this, where it's always, if it wasn't Shay, Bucky,
rubbing on her ass.
Right. If it wasn't, there was some other, it's always been these two women dynamic with Scrappy and Mama D in the middle. I'm like, oh my God, this is the Scrappy storyline.
Yeah, and I think that's why folks were like, oh, get Scrappy off. He's fallen off. No, he has not fallen off. He was just a married man for a little bit and maybe, quote unquote, off the streets for all. That's what we know. And that's what we'll stick to. But I feel this is where Scrappy shines, right? He is such a messy person. He literally has, I guess, so much love to give that he can't just like give it to one person.
Yeah, it's interesting. And mind you, I love when I cover shows on the podcast. I always like to insert like what's happening now in real life. So I guess the BAM went on the Amanda Seal podcast. And mind you, Scrappy is out here in other podcasts talking about, I'm mad. Like, Amanda, she's for the black culture and, she speaks the truth. But I wonder if Amanda Seal let the BAM know that she used to be in the streets naive with me.
I hate him.
I was like, plot twist. And of course, Amanda Seal comment under the post and was like, I'll have to address this. But I mean, that is kind of interesting hearing Amanda Seal ask Bam all those questions about the scrap. And it is like, oh, okay. Amanda, you used to nut if you buck. So
Oh my god. It's just, why can't he keep it in his pants? Here's the thing, right? This is a known thing with his fight with Stevie J all those years ago as well. It's known that the red cup is always full. I'll just say that. Okay? Y'all run with it. I'm not gonna defame my man. So the thing is, I think the red cup is always full, which really gets him into a lot of trouble, like on the show and IRL. Because why is he drunk off his ass? You can tell the words are slurring, all a hot mess, talking about, hey, Diamond, when I see you, my beep is beep.
well, yeah, because Diamond was like, you not married now. He's like, my got hard. And my
And the
got a little
curve.
curves. She's like, we know it curves. I was like, oh, well, does it? I was like, let
Show
me
us.
actually go online and look up little scrappy photos.
Me requesting a cameo, but this time just the curve.
Could you imagine requesting a cameo from Little Scrap and, and asking to talk about the curve? Is Scrap on Cameo?
Yes.
Oh my!
So I ordered a cameo for my husband's birthday.
Oh, that's right. How much? How much
It
does
was
Scrap go?
$50.
Oh,
It
that
wasn't
ain't okay.
no, and he did it into one day, I think, or 2 days. I say he really loves me. Uh, but he couldn't pronounce my husband's name. My husband's name is Karthik. So he goes, I'm gonna call you Cart. And to this day, all of his Karthik's friends go, I'm gonna call you Cart.
I'm dead. Okay. Shout out to Scrappy. He getting them cameo coins.
Yeah, I think he's not on it anymore. But listen, if he were, I think he should bless our podcast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen, we might have to look that up. See what the little scrap is talking about. So yeah, it's also interesting to see Imani, which is Scrap and Erica Dixon's daughter, going off to college, and just kind of like, it is. I feel like it ages me on these shows, whether it's The Housewives, whether it's Love and Hip Hop, whether it's Married to Medicine, whether it's the Vanderpump. Seeing these kids that
Well,
like,
not Vanderpump,
well,
because
not
those 50-year-olds are still out here doing the things they were doing at 12.
so very true, or even like Growing Up Gotti, or
Yes. Run's house?
Run's house.
What do you mean Diggy is like
Wait,
hot and grown?
Because I feel like when I was in I want to say I was like in 10th grade, I remember being like, ooh, Diggy is
Yes.
cute. And I mean, Diggy, we like Diggy. I'm glad that he has let the rapping go and gone into acting. Just because, yeah. But we shout out to Diggy. But it's just crazy seeing these kids grow up. Like, it really makes me feel so old. Like,
Yep.
Imani, I remember when she was like walking. I feel like it's my family member. Like, I remember her when she was like walking, and now it's like she's going into college. Now she's getting into online beefs with the BAM.
With the BAMs, that girl or that lady.
That lady.
No, I just feel like Imani has been the only saving grace in actuality for Scrappy, but just whatever. And I think she like grounds him in the way that like no one else does, because I think she'd be checking him
Oh, I think
low
so
key.
too.
Cause and then we get the moving in footage, Bryce. And why is Scrappy literally doing fuck all? Like, he's just eating.
Taking photos. Like, I was like, if that's not I was like, what are you helping with?
That's really a dad for real, where they just be like, you tell me what to do.
You tell me and it's like Erica and Imani doing everything. It's like I was like, Scrappy is a real I feel like black young dad, right? Because
Oh,
it's like he don't know what to do. He just feels like him just showing up in the dorm is like enough. Like, no, put the stuff together.
you know he's
Uh,
never been to college, he said. So, he said, "She's doing it for me."
well,
But
mind you, it was for me. Scrappy was like, she living her life. She grown. Like, no, actually, she's just going to college. Like,
she's 18. That's it. Like, that is a child to me.
right. Like Scrap, like yeah, she out making me proud. She doing all like it's like no,
Talking
Scrap,
about she going to war or something.
right? Did you tag her out the battle and now she tagging into the battle? But on a serious note, I think that they were talking about, or Erica was talking something about Bambi.
Yeah.
And Erica was saying her relationship with Mama D, we have seen on the show, has been up, down, left, right. Sometimes Mama D like her, sometimes she don't. Mama
Yeah.
D is Shay's baby's godmother. Mama D is friends with Diamond. Um, Throughout it all, Erica says that she allows her Mama D to like be a grandmother, right? Like she doesn't. And I think they were talking about how I guess when Scrappy was FaceTiming with the Bam and the kids, and then Mama D jumped on and Bambi ended the FaceTime live. And Erica's like, I think that, or even Scrappy was like, the whole family, like, the kids, his kids with Bambi, they know Bambi's family. I want them to know my family as well. And so a part of me is like, I agree, right? Because I have brothers, and so all of my brothers aren't with their baby mothers. And so I do think it is sometimes as a paternal uncle, I always make it a point to make sure that like my nieces and nephews know who I am.
Yeah.
And so like I really don't love that Bambas being that way. However, it also is Mama D we are talking about, right?
Remember when was it the question is, was it Mama D or Bam's mom that did this? But the funeral flyer. Like, did
uh
I think Mama D
I
made the funeral flyer for Bam's mom? Or was it? Yeah, I think so. Because I can't remember who made it for whom. But the point is, there's so much bad blood between these families that at least one mom, one grandma, has made a funeral flyer for the other grandma when other grandma is alive.
that sounds like Mama D.
Yeah, that's what I think. Mama D did it because I just feel like it's a storyline. So Mama D had to have done it. But regardless, the point is, Mama D loves every woman in Scrappy's life that isn't currently a woman in Scrappy's life.
Right.
So it checks out for me why she's acting this way with the Bams. Because remember when she was in love with Bams and hated Erica's ass?
Erica
You left him for dead.
at the reunion, right? And now it's like, yeah, but also it's like I feel like this is the mentality sometimes that we see in the black community with single mothers and their
Oh,
sons.
Indians too. Are you kidding? Oh my God.
Like they don't play. Like it's like Scrappy is her king. This is his palace. And so it's like she has to have the authority to grant whoever is in his life. And it seems like when they get together, and unfortunately the hierarchy is my wife, my family, then my mother. That doesn't always pan out for Mama D.
And the problem is, I think Mama D is so delulu when it comes to Scrap that it doesn't matter what the real hierarchy is because he gives in. He barely checks her. And that's the problem. Because at the players' ball, divorce party, whatever you want to call it, he's specifically said, drunk as shit. He's like, I shouldn't be telling you who I
Oh
went
yeah.
on a date with.
She like,
And
she
she's
like,
like,
tell me.
yeah. And then it's like a spell goes over him and he's like, baby mama number one. And she said, I'll shut this whole thing down right now. Let's make it happen. What do you mean make it happen when you were just telling Diamond, I saw you
Oh,
leaving my house?
not on the ring camera.
Embarrassing. Mama, I'm telling you, Mama D is so crazy and I love her, but that's why I think that these women in Scrappy's life can't take her serious because she's not. She's the most unserious person on this cast.
And she's only loyal to Scrap, right? So it's like you have to understand that Scrap got his red cup here, there, and everywhere. So it's like at the end of the day, she is only going to be loyal to her son Scrappy.
Yes.
And speaking of son and speaking of kids, somebody we didn't get to talk about last recap was Yandy and Mendeecees. Um, and so we know Yandy started off on the Love and Hip Hop franchise as Jim Jones's assistant. She wasn't even really like she was a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Her and Chrissy did not like each other, and it seemed that that feud between her and Chrissy, and then she left Jim Jones from being his manager. And then we just see this rise of Yandy. And Yandy then kind of makes her way. She leaves Love and Hip Hop New York, goes to Atlanta. We then most notably know Yandy from when Mendeecees, I don't know if it was like a drug charge or a gun charge. Mendeecees had to go away to jail for
Mhm.
I want to say like 5 years. Also, Mendeecees on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or New York. I think it might have been New York. He also had a Scrappy issue where he had multiple baby mothers,
Yes.
and with Yandy coming in, being the new wife, first of all, people alleged, did they actually get married? Like, was it just like, because that was a whole
That
thing
was
for a
a
while.
yep. That
And
was a whole thing on Love and Hip Hop. That was sorry. That was the intro of Yandy and Mendeecees to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Was Are We Really Married? And Bryce,
the truth
who
is,
spread the rumor though?
was it Mama
Okay,
Dick?
no, it was Mendeecees'
Uh,
mom.
oh, no,
Mama
wait,
Judy.
wait. No. Mama Judy is another mother.
Exactly.
She is amongst the reigns of Jim Jones's mom. She's amongst the reigns of Rashida's mom. Now, Mama Judy don't play. And Mama Judy and Yandy, they don't like each other.
No, oil and water. Okay, and this has been for years. We've seen this. Like it felt like when Mendeecees was away, Miss Judy was like, "No, I'm your husband now. So you have to listen to me." And she'd be like, "Why are you dressing this
Why
way?
are you dressing that
Why
way? Why are you
why
walking down the street with this man? You are married.
you are man? Why are you hugging that man?" I still remember this cuz no, Miss Judy is like on there's monster in-laws and then there's Mama Judy, I feel. And I think Yandy finally has got like been like, I don't care. Like he's not going anywhere. You can F off, basically. And that last week we saw was like causing a lot of friction between everyone.
Yeah, because Judy came to visit the home, and Yandy was booked and busy and leaving, and Yandy was just giving like, "All right, I'm leaving," and Judy was like, "Oh, that's how you leave it up." And then Yandy's like, "You're in my house," and then Judy's like, "No, this." Wait, first of all, Judy was like, "This is my house. This is my son's house." But when Judy started, when Yandy left, and Judy was like, "I'm messing up the pillows," I was like, "Now, Judy." Girl, not messing up the pillows. Um, but Yandy stood by her man. She did the time. He got out of jail. And so it's like, we love that for Yandy. And now Yandy has all of these businesses and different things. And so this season, season 11.5, Yandy's cousin, aka her sister, aka her cousin, aka her sister. They're first cousins, but Yandy keeps on insisting that they are sisters. And Mendeecees is like, nah, y'all cousins. Um, her cousin sister wants to get pregnant. She's having some issues conceiving. And so Yandy has what I think is beautiful, said that, listen, Mendeecees has several kids, and Mendeecees and I believe they have one kid
Yeah,
together.
one. I believe it's just one.
I think so, yeah. And so Yandy's like, I don't want any more children. And if you want to get pregnant, you can take one of my eggs and you can find a donor and you can carry. Now, I think that that is beautiful. I think that like that's like sisterhood. That's like, because everyone's pregnancy journey looks different. And I think a lot of people take for granted the fact of just having a child. And so
Yep.
we love that. I think that that's beautiful. Now, the issue in lies that Yandy has offered up her egg. First of all, her body, her choice. Number one, let's just say that. But she brings it to Mendeecees, and I think that Mendeecees used to be in the streets. Like he's smart, but
Street smart. He's street
street
smart.
smart.
He's street smart.
I think the nuances of today's world sometimes, like, he's just a little slow to it. And that's kind of sort of what I like about
I mean, look
Mendeecees.
who raised him. His mom is over here being like, well, you can't have Mendeecees eggs. And Mendeecees literally mid argument had to be like, huh? I don't have any eggs.
And so, yeah, Mendeecees does not love the idea of the Yandy's eggs, giving Yandy's eggs to her cousin because he feels like that's Yandy's baby. And like, how will he explain that to the children? And so there is a level of, like, I understand that.
Yeah, it's
Uh
same.
I get his point, but I also feel like, and see, I don't know. I also feel like part of the problem is Yandy here. Again, her body, her choice. However, you are married. And so I feel like, decisions like this, you absolutely should consult your husband about. And so I feel like Yandy has said to her cousin, we're going to do this, brought it up to Mendeecees. Mendeecees like, I don't actually know how I feel about this. Let's talk about it more. And then, of course, in true love and hip hop fashion, they're at a family picnic, and the cousin is like, hey, everybody, before y'all eat your hamburgers and hot dogs, I just want to say thank you so much to Yandy and Mendeecees. They're going to give me an egg. And Mendeecees is like, huh?
He really said, whose baby is it? Because that's our baby then that we're giving you for adoption? Question mark. I mean, the poor mental gymnastics that that poor man's brain has had to do to even compute it, let alone
Girl,
be okay with it.
so then fast forward to this episode where Mendeecees is not really on board, but he wants to understand. He wants to make an
Yes.
informed decision. So they go to a doctor's appointment with the cousin, Yandy and Mendeecees. And so Mendeecees is learning all about how to retrieve an egg.
A
And
needle
then
in the
a
vagina.
needle in the vagina. Mendeecees is like, whoa, this is more serious than I thought. Like, Mendeecees, I really feel like Mendeecees thought Yandy would menstrual in a bag.
Menstrual.
He would have a menstrual cycle in a bag, give it to the doctor, and the doctor would extract the eggs. Like,
Not
that's really what
period
I
in a
thought.
bag. You better stop this right now.
But
End the podcast. Cut the cameras, dead ass.
because that's what he's giving. Like that to me is knowledge of it is because like him finding out all of this is a lot. But it was Mendeecees in the doctor's office with a straight face saying, could you get an egg? Could you when you get the period in the bag, could you find the egg?
No, sort out from the blood and the others and the uterine lining, right? Like, just do a little.
Try not to get one that don't look like Yandy.
Because famously, when you have your period, you have multiple eggs that leave your body. Famously.
I was just like, wow, he really doesn't necessarily understand it. And so it's like that makes my heart kind of like it makes me like Mendeecees a little bit more, right? And then now I love Yandy. Here's also the problem that I have with Yandy is that like, okay, so yes, your body, your choice, do what you want with your egg, but listen, you're married, you gotta figure that out. But then it's like, oh yeah, we gonna pay for the process too.
Oh, insert Carly Red falling off the bench gif, right? Because first of all, the scene is we are at this like raggedy construction house where Mendeecees is like, hey, I need to pre-sale this house because we don't have, I don't want to like stress about money. We've
Now also,
already bought this house, blah,
now
blah.
is that how flipping works though, Sasha? Like I thought
That's not what flip or flop taught me. But he said, if we could sell the
if
house,
we could sell the house before we do what we gonna do to it, we could make
it's
millions of.
giving lovers and friends first.
It's giving DJ Envy. He took a
Oh!
DJ Envy class.
Oh my God.
Because wait, if that's the case, man, DC,
Then why wouldn't they just buy the house?
why wouldn't they just do it themselves? But like, I get it though, right? Because contractors, when they have new
Yes.
properties, like they will pre-list it. But I don't know. That just had my like. I get it. If that happens, if you have a buyer, but I also feel like you shouldn't go into the project with your wanting to sell the house before you complete it so you could yeah, but
He's literally on living on vibes at this point, right? Like that's what it feels like. And again, I think it's different when it's like here's a contract company building a high rise that you're selling, getting one apartment unit in. And listen, especially in India, people get frauded out of that all the time. So this isn't some like random thing we are stressed about. But the point is, the money seems to be tight up. And then on top of that, they're having a little picnic in like the construction zone. Not I know it's not actually y'all, but it's so low rent for Love and Hip Hop. And these people probably live in Buckhead and then they're doing this here. Either way, this like ratchet ass picnic. And then she goes, "Yeah, we're gonna pay for the." So I think I would just like my soul would leave my body. Like it would not be there anymore.
so it's like Yandy, he already not on board with the whole egg thing. Now y'all paying for it. Not to mention, in the last recap, we didn't mention that Yandy bought her dad a home.
Yes. Money is tight.
So, and now Mendeecees trying to sell this home before, like, like it's a lot going on. But first of all, they have money. Like, Yandy do a lot of different things, but it was just kind of like I just I love Yandy, but it gives just storyline. Like because it
I was
it,
gonna ask you that question. Oh, it's in my notes because I was on Twitter seeing what the people were saying, and folks are like, Keisha can't even bring real tears to the table, and you're supposed to make me believe this is a real storyline.
yeah. I mean, it is when we're talking about it, right? It's interesting, but is it real life? I don't know because then the cousin named Keisha, right?
Yes.
Because then Keisha comes and says that actually she went to a doctor's appointment and she has more fibroids. So she would have to have another surgery to remove the fibroids. And for her uterus to recover would be a year. And then there is still no guarantee that even if the embryo was inserted into her from the period bag of Yandy, like, she doesn't know whether or not she'd be able to carry it. And so now she's like, we would need a surrogate. And again, Yandy and Mendeecees, like a surrogate.
Is Love and Hip Hop paying for it? Because the show pays for the trips. So that's why I'm like, is Yandy foregoing her trip? No, it can't be worth that much. So yeah, it's like 100K. Just like they just have to drop on this stuff. What? How can you have this conversation without your husband? I don't comprehend this. And listen, I am number one in like make decisions, ask forgiveness later because especially when it comes to my husband, sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I just did it. Sorry." And he'll be like, "You can't just we are a team." And I was like, "No, I'm an only child. I don't understand what that is." The joke is he is an only child too. But it doesn't matter. So I understand that thinking. And even then I wouldn't. I would be like, "Hey man, what do you think?"
Right.
That's why it's giving manufactured.
So, but it's for me, right? It's giving manufactured, but also it's giving Mendeecees responses are real,
Do
right?
you
Like
think they told him that this is just a fake
I
story?
think I think Yandy was like, I got Mendeecees. Just get him to the scene and we gonna work this out.
You'll get
Because
gold. Don't worry.
because he's funny, right? Also, so Mendeecees has, I think his oldest son is Little Mendeecees.
Mhm.
Another one of these kids that we have seen grow up. Now I be on the TikToks when I can't sleep, and Little Mendeecees has a TikTok and a YouTube, and seriously, all of Little Mendeecees TikToks are just him pranking his dad, and I am
Oh my
obsessed
god.
with it, right? Like Little Mendeecees got like a face tattoo, and his friend, like they came over, Mendeecees saw it, and the way Mendeecees was like literally about to catch a case on this YouTube video, like Mendeecees was about to put the pause on Little Mendeecees. And so literally that's all Little Mendeecees YouTube is. It's like he'll walk in or like throw the bag at Mendeecees and just walk away. Like and Mendeecees, it's the same Mendeecees that we see on Love and Hip Hop on them YouTube. That's why it's like I think Mendeecees' reactions to this are pure real because it's like that be him.
Bless his heart, because the way Yandy looked at him when he said, "Can you get an egg?" That I said, that's not even the dumbest thing he said compared to everything. He said, "Needle in the vagina, baby." Well, how do you think it happens?
Girl, that's what I'm saying. I think that he thought Yandy would get a bag. And like I literally, because the way he was like, this is more. And like, but again, the way that this is why you gotta love Mendeecees, right? Because a needle in the vagina, like this is more intense that what Yandy has to put her, like he was gaining a much better understanding of actually what Yandy is doing. But also just us watching him process it is oh. And here's another thing, right? Sidebar of the sidebar. I never used to think Mendeecees was attractive.
Oh, I always did, but I
But
do. I have a type. Yeah.
well, I mean, so do I. Well, I mean, and my type varies, but post jail Mendeecees, like I'm like,
Like I
okay,
said, I have a type. When I said Lil Scrappy looks so good in that cardigan, I was like, "Oh, it's the shoulders, like it's just like, they could hurt me, and I appreciate that.
not hurt you. Yeah, but
Do not clip it.
girl, girl, on Black History Month.
Oh my, no, consensually.
Okay, yes, consensually.
Sorry, I thought that was implied, but yes, consensually.
Uh, ooh, you gotta have a safe word. Gotta have a safe word.
More. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to tell you this story, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not, because no.
You have to tell me now, maybe offline. But
I mean, no, baby, I'll tell you online.
Yes, do it. Do it. Do it.
So I don't know how this story will read, but I'm in these streets.
Yes, as you should.
I'm a single lady. I do what I want. And I have like this story happened a while ago, but sometimes pain is pleasure.
Yes.
And I may have been like in an interaction or a situation when I had a little young gentleman caller and like, I was like, oh, slap me. Ooh,
I love this song. Yes.
choke me.
You really be in the choking.
So mind you, I never really experienced it outside of this. Like, so I get it, right? It's kind of like, but when it was happening, right? I was like, oh, like I get it. Like I could kind of, I could understand. Like,
you said yes, Christian Grey.
But girl, it was like I felt like. Then all of a sudden I woke up and I was like, what?
Woke up?
I was like, who is on top of me? Oh, okay. Like, and I was like, oh, I was like, did I? And they was like, so not woke up.
Oh, like, no, I know what you mean. I'm just saying, God damn.
I was like, oh, wait, because it was just like 2.3 seconds, but like, it was like somebody pressed the restart button on the computer. And then it was like,
insert the Microsoft music, right? The booty.
Because I was like, wait, hey, like, and then I tried to act like nothing happened, right?
Yeah,
like,
we're real. Yeah, we're real. Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah, that was.
I can't. I'm grateful to be out the streets. I'll just say that. The streets should be grateful I'm out of them, actually. But no, because I'm telling you, I see these like Gen Z kisses, and like, why is it immediately that? And it just because when we were growing, that just wasn't a thing.
Right.
Because I'd be like, what do you, sir? And I'm 5'1", so I think it's also really a lot for me. So you're just like, what happened? But then I watch it and I'm like, must be good because everyone's doing it. peer pressure, obviously.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta go with the trends.
But I just love that for you, friend.
Yeah.
And you deserve the reason.
So safe words are important. And
Very. But if you're past it, I don't know if they come up.
but if you never experienced it, you don't know, right? Like, so
Yes.
it's like, yeah, then I was like, what were you thinking? And they were like,
This is when
ah.
you're like, maybe I'm old.
So yeah, that was an experience. So
I love it. And look at that story for the podcast now.
I don't know
You're
how.
all welcome.
Yes, okay. Yeah, and so who else we got to cover?
Yeah. Now, listen. Speaking of wanting to choke yourself, Amy. I think we should be talking about Amy Luciani
Okay.
and Mozzie. All right. What is going on? So we meet them, and turns out Mozzie is Amy Luciani's ex fiance.
Oh.
All right, and they've dated for 6 years. They had many businesses together. Blah blah blah. So it felt like they needed to take the next step. Turns out, Amy saw him kind of hanging out at home. I think that's the nicest way to say it. Being a bum, and decided to cut off the engagement. Well, it's the season of running the block back.
Okay.
So, of course, they're back together in an escape room, known place to be when you have issues. That is literally, what are y'all doing? Are you dumb going to an escape room when you're trying to get back together?
And they didn't get out. The time expired.
I am a very, this, I'm a very competitive person. I'm very like irritable when I don't win. You don't want me in an escape room with you.
Yeah.
And what
And
is this?
mind you, the escape rooms, they have very limited rules, right? But they're
Yes.
like, don't open the door, don't pull this. Amy, like, well, I'm gonna just see if this, like, But here's the thing that like concerns me with Amy and this guy. Because
Yes.
one, I feel like, girl, you only are bringing this guy back around because
Chaotic is with Erica Banks.
it's with Erica Banks. Now, what is interesting is that Amy is like, I need to tell Chaotic because all of a sudden, since we met Amy season 11, Chaotic's been her best friend. That they've been doing the do at times.
Boo
So,
bestie.
the bestie boo. And so Amy feels like she has to break it to Chaotic that, hey, listen, I spun the block.
Mozzie said you got to.
Well, Mozzie said
yeah.
they got to be boundaries.
Yes.
And so Amy's like, she needs to let Chaotic know, but also she's nervous because Chaotic was the friend that she trash talked Mozzie to. And so, like, what I thought was so interesting as to one of the reasons why Amy said that her and Mozzie broke up, because, she didn't allege cheating or anything, but she said that, like, she was out making the coins and he was, mooching off of her. And so when Amy gets to meet up with Chaotic at the tennis court, Chaotic knows that Mozzie's back because I guess they live in the same community that Mendeecees is building. So they pre-bought condos at this building. So they live in the same building.
Stop.
But what I thought was so interesting that like Chaotic was saying is like, I know he around. I see him driving your car.
Isn't that like 101 of like, we don't want no scrub, right? Like, am I confusion? Because I feel like I learned that at 20, whatever, when I had this boy driving my car and getting tickets on it. Stupid.
Was you at work?
I was in college.
Okay.
Being stupid. Like I said, J names that are cancers will have you in blenders. I am not lying. Okay? I'm telling you from experience, don't do it. He's walking her dog. Fine. Sweet, maybe. But why are you driving her car?
And where is your car, sir?
Do you have a car, sir?
And then they moving in together.
He gets to pick her up though. Why? Probably because he's driving her car.
So yeah, it just is giving. Now again, I do have a type. If it's Mozzie or Chaotic, I'm going Mozzie.
I think I go funny.
So I don't see. For me, I'm gonna go tall. I'm like So I would go
tall to me. Thank you.
Well, that is true. That is true. So Chaotic is tall to you too. So and then in this manufactured scene where Amy is telling Chaotic about everything, and again, I really do feel like Chaotic is actually being a good friend to Amy.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Girl, what are you doing? Like
that would be my reaction,
right? And so Then all of a sudden, enter scene Mozzie. Mozzie's like, what's going on here? You cut all the big boo out. And so it's like, oh God, here go.
This looks like a date to me. Talking about tennis. Why? Because you probably don't take her anywhere. So everything else looks like a date to you.
Right. But I did feel like in this scene though, I did feel like Chaotic definitely like bagged back. Like I don't feel
Oh,
like
yes.
yeah, like I feel like if this was Scrap, I feel like if this was uh Kirk, I feel like
Jock.
they would have, I don't know. Chaotic definitely was Lil Shrimp.
Yeah. I just felt like Chaotic was hurt and in his feelings because he thought he was in a polyester, remember,
Oh,
relationship. He was trying to wear them both out, but guess who's actually in a polyester? Scrappy. Anyway, so Chaotic, I think, thought like he had the upper hand. And listen, it's so easy to play men because as soon as you let them think they have the upper hand and then you pull out the rug from under them and they're in shambles. As
right.
Amy said, they're gonna be panini pressed. You love it, Amy Queen. That's exactly what Chaotic deserves. And I just love Chaotic. He's like, if you like it, I love it, like that kind of nonsense. And I was like, you're looking like just unfortunately her dog that just kind of got stepped on a little bit, like whose tail just got stepped on. Stand up.
Stand up taller. But and meanwhile, you're in a relationship with Erica Banks.
What I say? The thing is, when it comes to men like that, right? They're gonna be so mad when you play the game that they're playing. They can't handle
Mm.
it. Hypocrisy is at its finest with people like Chaotic. That's why it's so fun to play with them because they actually are the weakest out of
Right.
all of them. Because Scrappy would have been like, "And I still hit it last night. Bye."
Y'all ski naive. Okay.
You're
Like
right. He'd be like, and then she gonna come back to the palace when it's over, and I'll be waiting.
here's a random thought.
I love it.
Do you think Scrappy needs to leave the is naive in 2020?
First of all, how dare you?
Because sometimes when he be saying it, I be like, all right, Scrap.
I think it is played out, unfortunately, because I think when it was new and shiny, we were like, oh, a new language that you have come up with. It's very funny. And now you're like, you're just forcing it.
Right. It's 2024. Like,
Yeah.
let it go. Like, just because it's just like I be having secondhand embarrassment for him.
You just have to look at him, not listen to him. I think that is how we get
Okay.
through our
All
Scrappy
right.
screen. Because listen, when those arms are on the screen, why are we listening? What the lips are moving? I don't care. That's not what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but that was just a random thing that popped into my mind because
No,
I was
it's
like,
true.
it's just like, I don't know. Another random person, or not random. I do want to talk about Kirk, not Kirk, Young Jock.
Oh yes.
My heart definitely goes out to Young Jock. We seen earlier on in earlier seasons that Young
Hmm.
Jock's mom had cancer. She went into remission. Then I even want to say it might have been season 10
Yeah.
where she let Jock know that she has lung cancer stage 3, and it's really giving that it's probably going to be terminal. And so it just kind of sucks to see young Jock going through this. However, I also feel like we are people of certain ages and our parents are getting older, right? So it's like something that is a reality for a lot of us or will be, or like, so just to see young Jock navigating this with his mom and just seeing him break down is something that my heart just goes out to young Jock. And it's just so interesting to see young Jock on this
Hmm.
Love and Hip Hop because young Jock, meet me in the trail. It's going down. Young Jock, has about 13 children
Yeah, and he realized he was doing it for free
for
because people are
free
giving 100,000 to Mendeecees
to
sperm.
Mendeecees. I, I don't think in that situation they were actually asking for Mendeecees' sperm.
I think they were asking for Mendeecees.
I think that's what it kind of sort of sound like.
Would you
And
do it for 100,000?
sure, I do it for a 2-piece and
No,
Popeyes
you.
and
I
Child.
refuse that for you. I expect you to have at least 100.
Child, $100. Um,
Well, if he's cute, but I'm saying if he's not.
well, I mean, what's the question? For my menstrual in the bag or for
No, for you.
oh, for a night?
One night only. Yes.
$100,000?
Yeah.
All right. This has been the podcast. We'll see you guys later. I gotta go. Okay, listen.
100. Yeah.
Ain't no shame in sex work. Sex work is work.
No, I love it. It's 100,000. Do you know how much I would be like screaming it from the rooftops? I'd be like, guess how much I'm worth? One night with me, baby. What about you, hater? $0 laying on your back for what?
Child, listen. Yeah, it's a yes for me.
As it should be. That is the correct answer.
Tax free too. So yeah, listen.
Oh my god! Listen, I just want to be kept. Okay, I think we should all aim for that in our life.
Listen, I agree. I want to live a life like Rashida. I want to be.
When God, I see others living my dream.
I just want to be Rashida. Okay, man, make him want to marry me. Put him on and
No,
make
but
him
then
want.
listen, marriage. Then they be getting it for free.
I mean, that is true.
No, just kidding. When you get married, then they'll really have to do stuff for you, and it works because you're married now. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do, baby?
We love it. I love it. Any other things from these episodes?
Yes, just a quick thing. We do have the single women mom Belize dynamic going on here that I just wanted to highlight. Nothing to talk about too much, but Spice is taking Rennie, Sierra, and Shekinah to Belize. I'm assuming for another leg of her show, and it's all fine and good. Spices and Rennie are still on their anger management. We get a goat yoga. And listen, as an Indian, the bastardization of yoga that the Western world has done, I really want to end it all. You know what I mean? Because like, stop this. My ancestors are literally like rolling in their graves over this.
Also, it's like, how many times have we seen this on a reality show?
Yeah, and it's
And
like
then
not funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a hater, not a hater, but like it strikes a certain chord with me. But like, why do you want a kid, like as in a goat's baby, pissing in your butt crack?
And I was just nervous for Spice when they were like, sometimes they bite,
Yes.
and I was like, "Ooh, that blue wig is I got a little nervous, but I do love this journey that Spice
Yes.
and Rennie are going on. Like I like as kind of corny and cheesy as it is, I like it, right? I kind of like
Mhm.
really do enjoy the conversations that come out of it. Like I like the conversation or seeing Rennie and her baby father kind of co-parenting. I like stuff like that. Like I can appreciate it. Even when they were in Belize and Shekinah, they were talking about different things and different traumas. And Shekinah had said that she had an abortion at 15. And she didn't realize it was a trauma, right? Like,
Yeah.
and in that moment, like she kind of released it. And I love that for Shekinah, right? Like, because I feel like Shekinah has a lot of things going on with her. And I think the more that she can tap into herself. And so, like, these little serious moments that are coming out of these, like, kind of manufactured, like, self help things, I'd be here for it a little bit. And it's like, I really do want Shekinah Joe to win. I just also want her to stay off of the Instagram
Instagram
live
live. Yes.
crying because I don't know if you saw like 2 weeks ago she went on with Mama D.
Oh, you sent it to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And listen, when Mama D is the one calming you down in an Instagram live, cut the cameras.
Yeah, just
Cut it.
and so we know Shekinah from Tiny, from Escape, from T.I. Shekinah used to be on The Family Hustle. Then Tiny and Shekinah had a spinoff show, which was actually really great.
My most favorite thing ever.
Is the bike? Is it the bike?
Yes! When they were like, first of all, they're both so short. Again, who am I to talk about short people? But they're one of me. That's why. But they're like, and I was like, do I really look like that on a bike? Like, I would never get on a bike again, God.
Girl, it's when the bike was dragging. Like, I I was like, oh my
Because they're
God.
on a tandem bike, y'all. Just know this. And they're what, maybe 5 foot together. And their feet probably don't reach the pedals.
Oh
And
my
next thing you know, Shekinah, and they are just falling all over. And if you think Shekinah is funny, Tiny is
God.
funny. Problematic AF, obviously, but funny. And their little accents, right? They have these thick ass
Very thick
accents.
accent. What y'all talk about, bud? Get over here, bud. But
Yeah,
mind you,
where oh my
also
god, and all these white people just staring at them falling in the park, like iconic.
yeah, that lives literally rent free in my head. And
That's
so
my Roman Empire.
Shekinah and Tiny had a falling out,
Yes.
a lot of different things. And so there were a lot that had happened, but years ago. Now Shekinah feels like because Tiny and Ti do have a big pool at VH1 or Viacom, that they are getting scenes that Shekinah is in on this
Mhm.
season of VH1 Love and Hip Hop. They are getting them pulled.
MTV, MTV.
MTV,
Not again.
MTV, Viacom. They are getting them
Yes.
pulled. And
Yes.
so ultimately, they really are trying to just like, she believes that they are just really trying to like get her off the show and not really have any opportunities. And so she is just crying on Instagram Live with Mama D. And Mama D's like, anything I could do, anything I could do, you let me out. Just like, but I
Mama
wish
G, you're not Candy, right? Like
right.
Candy has the pull.
Mama D is an international pop star. Okay.
In that order.
In that order. In that order. Okay. But have you heard Mama D's like pop song where it's like legs, hands, knees?
Yes, yes.
Mind you, that's on my playlist for when I go out. That's like on my pre-game playlist.
No, that's like
Okay.
you're trying to get ready to fight somebody. But going out playlist.
So because we love Mama D. But yeah, so there's Shekinah. And yeah, I feel like is that it?
Yeah, that was it. It's just I just appreciated seeing, like you said, the anger management and like seeing their growth. Also, that they go to Belize and do a healing circle, which I just felt like, um, again, that's the work I do. So it's just that's why I wanted to highlight it because I think on these shows we see a lot, and it gets a lot of flack, right, for showing quote unquote the worst of a community, especially the Black community. But I feel like here they're really able to highlight like them being on a healing journey and really like noticing, oh, what is it that I need
Mhm.
to get further in life. And it does end with like Rennie having an medical emergency. We don't know
Yeah.
what that means, so we'll see. But I just feel like sometimes when stuff flows out of you, it
Mm.
really flows out of you. And this, I think, for Rennie is what's happening. So stay tuned for next week. And Saucy Santana will be
We'll be
back.
back. Where he been
Okay.
for these 4 episodes?
I feel like we're watching, when you read The Grapes of Wrath, it's like every other chapter was a different story. That's what I felt like, where it was like, oh, these 2 episodes is a different Love and Hip Hop than the last 2 we just saw because it's all the cast is so different.
Again, it's giving, in my opinion, they had footage.
Yeah.
They are infusing old footage and recording new
Mhm.
footage and kind of like piecing them together. That's what it feels like. But regardless, yeah, I'm here for it. Also, I forgot, Love in Hip Hop Miami is on, right?
Yep.
So I forgot, like I don't know where I've been, but I feel like they did kind of what Atlanta did, where like they went on a break or kind of sort of come back
Yeah.
because like I was like, what's on my DVR? Miami. I was like, I've never seen these
Mhm.
episodes. And it's with Shay. And she is just revealed to her mom she's with child part 2 with her baby dad that like nobody really likes. So I was like, oh, okay, come on, Miami.
Yeah, Miami, I think, is like taking the crown
I love Miami.
for because I think it's a Hollywood and Atlanta mix. Well, because half the cast is Atlanta, but it's a mix of that because we have the big quote unquote big name. No, actually, no quotes because Trina is a big name, and so is Trick Daddy, and Pretty Ricky is on there. So and Amara, so they have big names, and they're still all ridiculously messy, like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta early seasons. Bobby Lights.
Now,
Hello.
before we go, right,
Yes.
I just want to talk
La
Amara
Negra.
La Negra. I feel like she was supposed to be the Miami's Jocelyn.
Correct.
And she did have that one song. I do have it on my playlist. Uh, not that playlist, but I do have it downloaded. I did buy it. I like to support the music.
I love
But
it.
is it me or is it like that first season that she was on, because then she was coming with the Afro Latina, she was wearing the fros, like, they really projected her to be this star. And this is no shade to her because I do love her. But my question,
Mhm.
right? Like on the show, they treat Admira like she is this star. But
Mhm.
I'm just trying to figure out what are the accolades?
Yeah, because Spice, like, we might not know, right? If you don't know dance hall, Spice is a big deal.
A
It's just
huge.
we, like the folks that maybe in America might not know if you, like I said, but that is not necessarily the case for Amara. So I feel that they were like, her mom's really cool, right? Like she's giving us a whole package, so we got to run with that, right? Where we have her
Right.
mom, her dating history is crazy, and she has the quote unquote Jocelyn Hernandez casting of the Latina, but added with the Afro Latina, of course. So I think that is what they projected onto her, and that is not her.
Right, like, it's like she can't, and again, I love her, like, I'm not, this
Yeah.
isn't hate. My thing is, like, the way that they treat her, like, she definitely is the queen bee, and it's like, when we first met her, she was, like, up and coming, and now it's like they treat her like she's there, but my thing is like, well, where is there? Like, I mean, it just like, oh, okay, just on the
Production
show.
pets.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
That
what I would think, because I think that you know what it is? It must be that they say yes to a lot of what production, behind the curtain. Oz is not real. Oh no. But I think that it's that mom and her do a lot of, oh, you want us to do this storyline? Got it. Happy to do it. And then her brother and Shay, or no, sorry,
oh, no,
opposite.
Shay's brother.
Yes, sorry, and her, right? So I just think that like there's a lot of good storylines and a lot of connections that they can put via her. Like
Right.
she's the locus and she says yes. I feel like that's the biggest piece.
Because it's like, for me, like, you compare her to Jocelyn, right? But we
Mhm.
see Jocelyn catapulted, right? Like, she was, again, she had music, I mean, mind you, her music just came out, but it's my birthday, like,
Yep.
do it like it's your B-day. But like, she was like at the
No,
height
she
of,
was a star from the minute we saw her, right? Like she just knew
oh,
the
you got that maid
camera.
outfit on. Okay, maid.
Exactly.
Like,
Molly the maid.
like, so, and again, like, and I love that for Jocelyn. But I just feel like Amara was supposed to be that in Miami, but I just feel like in real life, like, I'm like, I don't know. But
It just didn't happen for her. Cause think about it. There's Amara, there was Cardi B for New York, right? It's funny enough, they're all Latinas. Amara, yeah, Cardi and Jocelyn were the main three.
well,
I
don't
can't
forget
remember.
Olivia, because October. Okay.
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean,
I just mean like that up and coming,
yeah,
yeah, person that maybe made it. Because I feel like Olivia was like always a thing.
it
Just
kind of
50
like,
Cent played in her face.
well, yeah. Olivia was kind of like, this was her, like,
Yes, yeah, her valley,
yeah.
not her peak. Correct. Listen, but then they had the creep squad, so you took a
I mean,
lot away from Olivia. But I don't, for Hollywood, I feel like they tried to do that with Miss Nikki Baby,
well, this, and then also, but here's
which
the
is
thing.
your sister-in-law for
Well,
everyone.
yes,
Yeah.
shout out to my sister-in-law with the ball. She with Jello, or Giangelo. But here's also thing, like, let's not forget that Hollywood had Tierra Marie.
Oh
Now
my
I'm a
God, I
Tierra Marie
actually did
fan,
forget.
and
Yes.
Tierra Marie is readying new music. Because I don't know how we got on this, but Tierra Marie back in the day, with I ain't had no daddy around,
Well,
I
she
ain't
was
feeling that.
supposed to
She was
be
supposed
the
to be the
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if you ever watched that VH1 Divas,
Oh,
and
I
they did for just
did.
how Tierra Marie was Beyonce. Okay, listen, I still have Tierra Marie's first single. She used to put out these EPs around Christmas time. Like, I loved Tierra Marie, and I want her to win so bad.
Mhm.
And ultimately, I think Love and Hip Hop provided her a paycheck. She was great for the show. She just had a lot of demons,
Yeah.
and
Ray J.
just
Yeah.
Ray J, 50 Cent. And so it's like, I really just want Tierra to win. And so she is readying new music. So I am here and ready to support.
Yeah, I think that is the answer to your Amara La Negra question. I think they just see that, like, who can we elevate to the next level? Who's memeable? Who's our soundbite person that will allegedly go to the next level? Oh, it already happened for Cardi, already happened for Jocelyn. Tiara, like, we resurrected or whatever you say, or Nikki. I don't know, but
Not resurrected.
not enemy. Listen, Tiara, I felt like the industry has played in her face. Actually, they helped her out a lot until they didn't. I'll just say that. Until Rihanna took off, maybe that's the best way to say it. And I just don't think it happened for Amara because I think the other people did it better.
Well, I mean, they were like Cardi B,
Sukiana.
Sook, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Suki has, again, I feel like
Suki's
Sukiana.
what Amara, I think they wanted Amara to be. Like outside of Love and Hip Hop, I mean.
Right. I think they wanted that impact that Suki
Yes,
has,
yes.
right? But again, Suki is, say what you want about her, but she's like, we love
Oh,
Sukiana.
yeah.
Like, listen, so I'm here for all of the girls. But okay, that was just my question. But all right,
Yeah,
listen,
I think that's the answer. I don't know. Hopefully, y'all let us know in the comments.
let us know what you think. But listen, this has been your Love and
Yes.
Atlanta season 11 recap of episode 18 and 19. We'll be back in 2 weeks covering episode 20 and 21. Sasha, what you got cooking over there? What you got on pop?
Yes, I have a non-podcast update, so wanted to share that with folks. I think this is the best place. But I work for a Black and Brown women-led nonprofit, and we are hosting a Black and Brown women's wellness and well-being series where we'll be hosting a lot of different ways to get better and strategize for our liberation as Black and Brown women. So the first series will be on February 18th from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern. It's free. We have a really badass, amazing, honestly, a queen body practitioner, embodied movement person who's also a licensed practitioner, of course. So amazing person. So if you are a Black or brown woman and you want to learn how to thrive and go work towards your liberation, you need to be there. So the link will be on my Twitter at funsize_04, or you can sign up yourself at tinyurl.com/dimensions pop up with the number 1. So do that. And of course, I host a celebrity gossip, pop culture podcast with Kirsten McKennis called Mess Magnets over on Rob Has a Podcast. So check that out. I'm you know what we're going to be talking about this week, but I'm not going to say it because, we're not trying to get doxxed here. So check that out. It will be out soon. And of course, Chappelle and I are talking Below Deck Proper starting next week. So check that out on Rob Has a Podcast or the Bravo TV wrap-up feed. This was so much fun, as usual, Bryce.
Thank you so much, Sasha. And I'll make sure to clip the link of your seminar in the description of the podcast bio.
Thank you.
YouTube. So yeah, we're gonna support our good brown sister on this Black History Month. Happy Black History Month.
Yes.
And also a big shout out to Chappelle. I know that RHAP announced the recap kickback, and that's a huge success. And I'm so proud of Chappelle, and I can't wait to see what he does over there. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We out, y'all. I deserve. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind. You better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack. You better hurry right back, though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.